What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I have an awesome review for you here today. We're going to check out Newbie Drone's FC30 and their ESC30. It is a combo stack for up to a 6S quad. You can put this on any type of 3-inch or 5-inch quad or larger with any type of 30 by 30 mounting option. This is primarily for the DJI Air module, so it makes it super simple. Newbie Drone has included a cable inside the box that just plugs directly into the Air module, which is great because that alleviates a lot of soldering to the flight controller coming off your DJI VTX, which is great. So no longer do you have to solder up those 5 or 6 or 7 wires or however many it is to the flight controller. Just plug it in and you're done. So that makes these HD builds a lot easier. And if you're going to grab a frame, honestly, I have to say that my HD one back here has been serving me quite well, especially for the price around $50. It's one of the more affordable ones. The Flynoceros one was nice, but that's around $100 frame. So if you're looking to cut cost and get your first HD system up in the air, that's a lot cheaper frame to go with, the HD one. But let's go ahead now. Let's open up the FC30 right here. Let's take a look at the flight board. I'll show you how the cables hook up, and I'll show you a schematic of just an overview of the flight controller, and we'll check out the ESC30 as well. So this is the box that you get, and it's nicely sealed up on the side. Hinges on that side. It's labeled the Infinity FC30 here. The MCU STM F405. That's the accelerometer on board, and we have a gyro. That's the IMU 6000. And you're able to power this with 3 to 6S, which is great, 12.6 to 26 volt. It has that DJI port, and it is powered by 9 volt, so it's not going to fry your transmitter. We also have a data port on UART6 if you need to run your OSD telemetry. S-Bus is on UART1 on this flight controller for your receiver. So let's go ahead and open up the box and check out what they have inside here. These are your cable harnesses. Looks like they have a piece of sticky foam in there. So this is one of the harnesses, and this looks like a shorter one. A lot of times these companies will give you different lengths, which is really nice. So you have multiples, just depending on how big the quad you're building is. So the larger side should plug right into the VTX itself with that little clip right there facing up. It just plugs in just like that, and this side will go straight into the flight controller, which is really nice. Really does simplify things a lot. Let's go ahead and pull all of this out of here. And they actually give us more cables in this version than, wow, that's a really long one. This is probably like 7 inches long. That's really nice. They give us more harness cables than some of the other ones I've received recently from like T-Motor, a few other companies. And then this side will just plug straight into the harness on this side over here. And you're going to do pins, looks like pins up. And they also have physical tabs here as well, which is really nice. Just going to plug this in. And that's pretty much it right there. So your DJI HD is basically all ready to go right there. Let's go ahead and take a little closer look at the board itself, because the board actually looks really, really clean. Now you're looking at the very front of the board right here, and you do have a harness here that's going to come up from the the ESC30. That is your harness for your ESCs. And you also have physical tabs right here, which is nice. You can see M1, M2, M3, M4 ground. We have tele here, that is RX4 just underneath that, and TX4 right there. We have camera right there, and 5 volt and ground right there. And the reason that I say this is the front of the board is because even though there's no arrow on here, generally speaking, the camera is usually on the front side of most flight controllers. Also, I noticed that they have dampening grommets already on the flight controller, which is nice. These are already placed. And here is our F4 processor here, which is nice. And I haven't had a lot of these newbie drone boards before, but this is one of my first. And I have to say that I'm really impressed with the layout and how clean this board looks. There also appears to be a little bit of a conformal coating on the board as well. It's a little bit shiny, you see. On the bottom, here's their logo, and they have it also screened on the bottom, which is really nice. And that's the rear. And this also looks like revision B, so this is probably the version 2.0 of this board, maybe. And now in the very back, there's our DJI harness with all of our cables for power and everything there. And right next to the harness, this should be your physical boot button right here. And on this bottom row, we have TX2, RX2, and S-Bus. So you have a clearly labeled port for your S-Bus LED. And on the very bottom, we have ground, 5 volt, 3.3 volt, if you guys are running Spectrum receiver, ground, and SAUD on the very end right there. And sneaking over here on the other side is another ground port on this side. Now, in the very beginning of this video, you guys didn't get to actually see what the other side of the Infinity ESC looks like. This is actually pretty cool. I have it cut, so let's just go ahead and open it up. And I will show you. There's a really huge heatsink on this side with their logo. You get some hardware in here, and this is your harness cable. And this is pretty awesome because this will just plug in right here like this. And we're going to do pins up or pins down if your board is mounted on your quad like this. This will be toward the back of the quad. And these are your motor terminals. You'll have 3 wires coming up from each motor. It'll just be 1, 2, 3 right here, 1, 2, 3 from each motor. And that's motor 1, 2, 3, and 4. And they are labeled actually, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's pretty sweet. You also have some labeling here as well to let you know what each of these wires are. You don't really need to know that, but if you are new, it is good to learn what all those wires are. And mostly this is just power and signal coming up to your flight controller. We have pins up again, so we're going to do pins up, and this just plugs right in. Now this is the front of the flight controller, so this is being the rear, and so you're going to flip this around this way and make sure that your motor 1 is in the back, and then you're going to go ahead and mount this to your quad. And usually what I do is I take this harness wire and I tuck it inside just like that. And you pretty much have everything wired up here for the exception of your receiver, and that's actually kind of amazing. This is a pretty sturdy looking kit, so I'm impressed. I am going to probably install this one on my new iFlight frame that I have in the shop, and this will be very easy to build and get up and flying with my DJI Air module. Super easy build. So thanks for checking this out. Again, this is an ESC that is powered up to 6S. It is 40 amp, it says here, continuous current, and this is 55 amp total burst. So safe for 3 to 6S, no problem. And BL Heli 32. If you guys are trying to use BL Heli Suite configurator, you're not going to be able to use BL Heli Suite. So just make sure you don't try to use the original BL Heli when you're trying to configure these ESCs. You're going to have to use BL Heli 32 software. But overall, a very, very nice high quality board and beautiful chips on the ESCs as well. This thing is blinged out. Beautiful Mosfet chips here. Really nicely done. So I'm impressed. And I have to say thanks again for sending this board to me. We will definitely be doing a flight test at some point of this board. It's too beautiful not to go ahead and do a build with, especially since we have another air module here. But thanks again, guys. I'm Justin Davis. Take care. This has been the newbie drone Infinity FC30 and ESC30 combo stack, all in one for DJI quads. Super cool. I'll see you on the next one.